This is Todd Scott with HowToGetSixPackAbs.com. Today we're going to go over another reason why you may be frustrated and confused about your fat loss efforts. One of the top reasons or one of the main things people get confused about is cardio training. They're not sure whether to add it to the program or not. They're not sure how much to add. They're not sure when to add it, be it after the weight training session or before the weight training session. And they're not even sure what types to add. So let's take a look at a couple of the choices we have here. The first four, stationary bike, elliptical machine, jogging, and walking, they're typically considered the steady state cardio where you exercise in target heart rate zone for 20 to 50 minutes. But they can be converted into interval type training. And interval type training is when you exercise at intense levels for shorter periods of time, followed immediately by rest periods. For example, maybe you would sprint for 20 to 30 seconds and then follow that immediately with 10 to 20 seconds of rest, and you just keep repeating that for a certain number of rounds. Now, the confusion about cardio comes mainly from the sources in the last video, the media, fitness gurus that are running around the gyms, and your friends or friends of friends that lost weight on a particular program. So you're not really sure what to do or how to do it, because a lot of times it'll leave you with no results. But when it comes to cardio programs for fat loss, even the trusted fitness experts can add to the confusion. So let's just go ahead and take a look at why even the top sources of fitness information can leave you confused. The confusion from fitness experts, for the most part, is unintentional. At the moment, the argument between experts, and you'll see them articles online in magazines, is that interval training is far more superior than steady state cardio. Steady state cardio would be jogging on an elliptical machine, or treadmill, or riding a bike. Oftentimes you'll see a picture like this, right here, and their argument is, which body would you rather have? Here's a world-class marathon runner, and they compare that to slow, steady cardio, and then here's a world-class sprinter, which mainly does, to train to get faster, he or she has to do short sprints to work on their timing. And you compare their bodies. This guy right here is super lean, muscular, and this guy is not fat, but he's skin and bones. So it kind of scares you towards interval training. With that said, let's go ahead and compare the two of interval training and cardio. Interval training, like I said earlier, let's go back. Interval training is short and intense exercise bouts, followed immediately by short rest periods, then repeating it for the desired number of rounds. For example, you can sprint for 30 seconds, followed by a fast walk or slow jog for 20 seconds, and then that's one round. And then you'll repeat that for a certain number of rounds, 5 to 10 to 15, even 20 rounds. Like I said earlier, steady state, as I did, just calculate your fat burning zone, and then exercise within your target heart rate for a specified amount of time, for say 20 to 50 minutes. So the argument, like I said, interval training is far more superior, is what you'll see online and in magazines, stuff like that. But the fact is, it can be dangerous if you're a beginner and you hop out there and try to do interval training, haven't sprinted in a while. Then chances are you'll last 2 to 3 minutes before you have to throw in the towel, because it's really intense. And if you do it the wrong way, you can just be spinning your wheels. And if you do it the wrong way, then the steady state cardio will be far more superior. The interval training would be pretty much ineffective and the results you would get would be completely erased. So, with that said, which is the most effective? On the one hand, you have experts saying interval training is the best thing since sliced bread. On the other hand, we have steady state cardio that has been around for decades and decades and decades and is highly effective, has been proven to produce low levels of body fat. Actually, I've done both of them. I've tested both of them separately, and I've found in my experience that the steady state cardio, even though it takes longer and is kind of boring, is a lot more effective than interval training. But also, what I've found is mixing or combining interval training with steady state cardio is more effective than both steady state cardio and interval training alone. So, if it were me and I were to suggest you to do a cardio program, I would tell you to mix them up. If you can do interval training, then I would alternate interval training with the steady state cardio. You can alternate them, alternate them every workout, or you can alternate them week from week. So one week you would do steady state cardio, the next week you would do interval training. And I found that to be the absolute best thing for me and my clients, and that's what I have been suggesting for a couple of years. And the results don't lie. Here's a client of mine, Les Acord. I worked with him for 12 weeks, and he dropped down to below 5% body fat in that period of time. In the mornings, I had him waking up, and he would do 30 minutes of slow cardio, steady state cardio. In the afternoons, we would work out with weights, and then immediately after that, I would have him do about 10 minutes of interval training. And in 12 weeks, that was his results. So the results don't lie. This is Todd Scott with HowToGetSixPackAbs.com.